Hey folks, I'm Chris and I'm your Commander Mechanic. The full Dominaria United set list is revealed, so it's time to review the set for the top Commander cards we should be keeping our eyes on. I've got separate videos for the Legends Retold cards and Commander exclusive cards, so keep an eye out for them. If you want to pick up any of these cards from Dominaria United, head over to my affiliate Harry Tarantula to pre-order now. Use my promo code CMDR5 for 5% off your first order and CMDR Mechanic to help support the channel. First up is a disclaimer, this is my list, meaning this is my opinion. Feel free to leave your opinion in the comments. Now this wouldn't be a top 5 without a dishonorable mention, being Multicolor Kicker. For Commander, this makes many of the cards in the set much more difficult to find homes for. Specifically the really cool cards like Urborg Lurgoyf and Stronghold Arena. Being 3-color identity means they can't find a home in a broader number of decks. Off the back of the Streets of New Capenna set, with many multicolor cards too, it's tough to be excited for these when they won't fit in too many lists. Honorable mention though goes to the lore, the callbacks, the characters. From Squee to Airtide to the Weatherlight, characters from decades ago get to live again in new forms. Many players may never have heard of or seen these characters in their original incarnations, but older players have been fans of Rith and Solkanar and Namada forever. Getting to see them updated to fit within modern Magic design standards is just a whole bunch of welcomed nostalgia. My next honorable mention is for the Defiler cycle. These beefy, rare creatures are good on their own, but being able to kind of Phyrexianize your mana stretches them even further. On top of that, having excellent cast triggers means they're awesome even without paying life for your spells, but just having the option to is real good. The last honorable mention is for the cycle of new lords, tribal creatures that pump other creatures of their type. Vodalian Hexcatcher, Valiant Veteran, Shadowrite Priest, Runevelt Hordemaster, and Leaf-Crowned Visionary. These are some of the best lords we've seen for these tribes ever, stacked with activated abilities that go beyond just a pump. These are going to see play in Commander and Eternal formats like Modern. Keep an eye on them. Alright, with that out of the way, let's get into my top 5. There are a ton of bangers in this set, but these are just the ones that get my blood pumping. At number 5 is Academy Loremaster. This 2-mana 2/3 is 2 relevant creature types, human and wizard, and acts as an optional Howling Mine. Now, normally Howling Mine isn't great because of the resources it gives your opponent, but this one offers knowledge at a cost. If you choose to draw an additional card in your draw step, spells you cast, all spells, not just the first spell, cost 2 more to cast each. That is a steep price to pay to cast spells on your turn. So ideally, you just don't cast spells on your turn. For control decks or decks that are playing primarily at instant speed, this is a fantastic draw enabler that's going to eventually slow down opponents if they are value drawing. Be careful about how long you leave it out for though, because the longer it survives, the more likely it is to benefit your opponents. Playing it after a board wipe though, when your opponents want to cast creatures or artifacts and you may be able to do the same but with flash, the Loremaster is real good. At number 4 is Knight of Dusk's Shadow. There were a few options for this spot, but the Knight is a late addition to the list. A 2/2 human knight with menace, that's decent enough for an uncommon. But what earns her a spot on my top 5 is that she's the lowest mana value, asymmetrical way to shut off opponents' life gain. It comes at 4 mana on Erebos, God of the Dead, it comes at 5 mana on Quakebringer, and it comes at 8 mana on Archfiend of Despair. And that's it. Every other permanent that shuts off only your opponent's life gain also shuts off your life gain too. Being able to drop it so much sooner with a splashable mana value on an evasive body that, oh yeah, can pump itself? This leaves you with a really decent uncommon that's going to find its way into a lot of lists that want to race to the bottom. At number 3 on the list is Ivy Gleeful Spell Thief. This entry is for me. Ivy immediately got my gears turning and I started brewing to see what we could do with her. A 2/1 flyer for 2 mana is a good start, but this Simic Fairy Rogue does a lot that is right up my alley. You see, whenever you cast a spell that targets only a single creature you control other than Ivy, you copy that spell and the copy targets Ivy. I love copying anything in Commander, and Ivy does it in a weird inverse way than Zata Hedron Grinder might. And I love me some Zata. The important reminder text on Ivy is that permanent spells that target, like auras, are created as copy tokens. So cast a Rancor targeting your Scrib sprites, and you get a token Rancor targeting Ivy. The really cool thing is when you get creature spells that target, like Mutate. Mutate is a cast ability that targets, so if you mutate a Gem Razor onto a creature you control, you get to put a copy under or over Ivy and get twice the effect. That's a really neat interaction, and Ivy can go mutate heavy, or Enchantress, or just combat tricks, but there is a lot you can do when you start copying spells. I didn't even mention Magecraft. Seriously, when I make this list, it's going to be wild. At number 2 is another one that I personally love. It's Vesuvan Duplimancy. That's right, it's a mythic, but it's basically another copy of Orvar the Allform, and y'all know how much I love Orvar and making copies of things. This is kind of like Ivy's ability, but instead of copying the spell, you copy the creature or artifact that's being targeted. It's a quick way to make a bunch of clones on the cheap, casting an Essence Flux and making a copy of your biggest and best artifact or creature. Oh, and it also makes the copy non-legendary. That's right, this can make multiple copies of your commander, or legendary artifacts like an Alhammarret's Archive, or whatever you want. It's got me reconsidering my Too Many Gyrudas deck again to be focused on blink spells and this effect. There's so many broken things you can do when you start making copies of legendary permanents in Commander, so expect this to make an impact in any copy or clone heavy lists, or decks that just want to do broken things. And my number 1 pick is Relic of Legends. It might not be the most exciting top pick, but this uncommon 3-mana rock is incredible. It's an all-color producing rock that can tap a legendary creature you control, summoning sick or not, to create another mana of any color. And if you have multiple legendary creatures, now they're all birds of paradise. Any mana rock that can help make multiple colors or multiple mana is always going to be useful, and as we see more and more and more legendary creatures released each set, we see more and more legendary creatures end up in the 99 of decks. This is a way to turn them all into mana producers. There are also a few commanders that really want to be tapped, like Calamax the Stormsire or King Makar the Gold Curse, and having a way to do that harmlessly is a big bonus. When this was revealed, I mentioned on Twitter that it's a color-producing Honor-Worn Shaku, which I already feel is an underrated mana rock for being able to produce multiple mana a turn. This immediately takes that a step further. Pick up a few copies. It won't go in literally every deck, but it will go in a fair few. At very least as a way for your commanders to dodge the ever-growing amount of goad in the format. Let me know in the comments below what your top cards of the set are and what you think of Dominaria United overall. A huge thanks to my sponsor Moxfield for making this video possible. Moxfield is the best deck building platform in the world and makes it easier than ever to create, edit, and curate your deck lists. Check out my Moxfield profile, linked below, and follow me while you're there, and create your own lists and profile too. Look forward to plenty of new brews from Dominaria United coming up on the channel soon, and as always folks, good luck and have fun.